Welcome back, Kent Adams, Spokane Talks Live, and my next guest is the what is it, crystal ball here, and you see it. Oh, and then it brought along Don Morgan from Independent Wealth Connections. How are you?
I'm good. How is Kent?
I'm doing all right. Other than the fact we had two guests that didn't show up, but welcome to Live.
It happens.
You know, it does happen. That's okay.
I blame it on traffic.
Yeah. Like just right outside our door.
Oh, boy.
I think walking across the street here is a little dangerous. But
in a way, it's cool, though.
Yeah,
Downtown
it
is
is.
getting rebuilt. A lot of the buildings have scaffolding. I have no clue what's going on, which is why I brought the crystal ball.
Okay.
Because I really have no clue.
Yeah, well, we knew that.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. And you know, you were making fun of me because I can talk.
Yes.
And I'll tell you what my wife says about that.
Okay.
She says I have the perfect job. I get to have opinions. I get to share my opinions with people, and they pay me to listen to my opinions.
Can you imagine? It's a miracle, I think, is what they call it.
It's about the best job I could ever imagine. and at the end of the day, if I'm right, and I often am, I help people.
Yeah. No, that really is true. And I've known you now for, 5 years or 6 years, something like
going
that.
On 7, yeah.
And you have always been one who often has, you're constantly checking into what's going on and so forth. But if you don't have the answer, you call someone.
Yeah.
And so you're the go-to guy, because if you don't know the answer, you know who to talk to. And I think that's so important today, because, yes, you can go to the internet. However,
it's unfiltered. It's unfiltered.
Very much so.
I mean, you can find stories about anything on the internet,
Yes.
and some of them are true.
Right.
Some of them aren't.
Yeah. And some of them, that's the key.
Right.
Tell me about the crystal ball. What's up with the crystal ball today?
So I've owned this crystal ball for years.
Yep.
It's never functioned very well as a crystal ball. It's a pretty piece of glass, but let's pretend it works.
Okay.
And I'm going to predict the next 10 years and the fallout from the upcoming election.
Okay.
So I want you to imagine over the next 10 years that we elect whatever politician you don't like. I don't care this one or that one. It doesn't matter.
Right.
And their vice president resigns in disgrace.
Okay.
The president is impeached.
Yes.
War happens in the Middle East. Now, I don't need a crystal ball for war in the Middle East. But
Right.
nasty war in the Middle East.
Right.
A disruption of the oil supply.
Right.
A disruption of the economics so badly that the 30...
You're making me very depressed.
Hang on, it gets worse.
Oh.
The 30 stocks in the Dow Jones Industrial Average, that's a listing of the 30 blue chip stocks that the Dow Jones Company picks to represent the U.S. economy.
Right.
Drops by 50%. Are you sick
Okay.
yet?
Yeah, I'm
Now let's have a nuclear accident that threatens the entire eastern seaboard.
okay.
Let's have race riots.
I might not be too upset with that if it includes D.C. Okay.
Well, it could be threatening here in Washington.
Yeah,
We have our own
know what
nuclear
I
issues.
mean. Yeah.
Let's see, what else could go wrong? Race riots in the cities,
Right.
crime skyrocketing, the young people listening to horrible music. I mean, imagine it could be...
A lot of that's already happening, Don.
Would you want to invest today? With knowing that the next 10 years
No.
you're going to have 4 presidents.
No, I think I would be reluctant.
Right. Now, what if I told you that instead of a crystal ball, I had a history book, and that was 1972?
Right.
And all this actually happened.
Yes.
And the Dow Jones did drop by 50%, and it took the whole decade to recover.
Right.
Would you still want to invest in that decade?
Yes.
Yeah, because you actually could make money even though
things are down. Yeah.
So-
Actually, that might be some of the best time to
In
invest.
fact, a lot of fortunes
Isn't
were made in
it
the
buy
Depression.
low, sell high?
Well, in the extreme of that,
Yeah.
credited to Baron Rothschild, is when there's blood running in the streets of Paris. That's when you buy.
Oh, okay. That happened recently.
I was going to say, sadly, this may be the time to buy. I don't know. The Chinese have a great saying: the best time to plant a tree is 20 years ago.
Yes. Okay.
The second best time to plant it is today.
Yeah.
You can't go back 20 years.
I was
don't know
thinking
how.
10, but
Well, you can control today.
yeah.
So the secret to all this, first off, why was the market able to shrug off 10 years of ugly? First off, it didn't shrug it off. It was less than a perfect 10 years.
Right.
But it still made money. Because the people that are out there in the economy actually do what Adam Smith said they would do, which is make decisions for their own good
Based
that
on
benefit themselves. It sounds selfish. It is selfish. But Who cares about your stuff more than you do?
Nobody.
Nobody. So you're going to take care of your stuff to the best of your ability, and I'm going to take care of my stuff to the best of my ability. Business people find a way to work around what the government does. The government will do whatever it does, and we can't control that.
Right.
Can't control the weather. We can't control stupid. 3 Mile Island.
A lot of them are running for office too.
Yeah, well, there is that. But to be fair to the people that run for office, it's an enormous burden.
Yes.
It really is service for the most part.
Right.
And I think,
unless you leave the White House dead broke and can't make your mortgage payments.
yeah, I know, but that's at the national level.
I know.
By the time they get there, most people have been in the system so long that the system has corroded them a little bit.
Yeah.
Most of them start out with a lot of good intentions and honesty.
So. Yeah.
The system's tough.
Yeah.
It's a
And
contact
it's
sport.
too entrenched.
And now I think even more than ever.
Yeah.
But if you read the stuff that went on in Abraham Lincoln's first campaign, the names they called him, they had pictures of him masquerading as an ape. I mean, it was horrible. And remember, he won a minority of the popular vote. It was 4 different candidates running, so it was a completely different dynamic.
Right. I remember it well. I was there.
I've heard that.
Yeah.
And you probably owe reparations. I don't know. Who knows? But from the perspective of a business owner or a family or an individual saying, what should I do for the next 10 years? Here's the first thing you want to do. Decide where you want to be in 10 years.
Okay, yes.
Set a goal and a plan, and then backfill from there what you have to
How
do
you
to
get
there.
there. Yeah.
That's right. And don't plan for the things you can't control. Don't plan for weather. Don't plan for crazy politicians. Don't plan for weird tax code changes. This stuff's going to happen.
Because in the long term, it comes out okay.
Yeah, if you have a plan and you focus on that plan, Grandma was right. Spend less than you earn. Pay yourself first.
Right.
If you can pay yourself 10%, you're ahead of the game. If you can go 15%, you can have a good life.
Right.
But you have to do that on a systematic, regular basis.
Right.
It takes, I hate to use this word, discipline and hard work.
Ooh.
I know.
There go the millennials.
Some of them, some are amazing.
Yeah. A lot of them are starting up businesses.
In fact, they are.
Yes.
Now, it's sort of like watching a box of puppy dogs because they don't know what they're doing. But a lot of business owners don't when they start.
Yeah, isn't that the truth? It really is. Because they've got a great idea. They got a great product or great service.
Right.
But they don't know how to get that to the market and all of the steps that it takes to get there, to market it, to produce it.
And then when they do, they don't know how to do HR very well. They don't know how to hire. They don't know how to fire. They don't know what a bookkeeping system is in some cases.
Right.
In many cases.
Right.
The speed of change right now. 7 years ago, Steve Jobs got up on stage and held up something that looked a lot like this and said, everyone's going to want this. Nobody had one 7 years ago.
That is really amazing when you think about it, isn't it?
2/3 of commerce today happens like this.
Yeah.
I listened to Google executives today say that we don't use the computer anymore to go online.
Right.
We live online.
Yes. Yes.
And
we live more on that in tablets than we do on the computer at our desk.
And in fact, what's coming is the Internet of Everything.
Yeah.
Where your refrigerator is on the internet and the lights in your home and the security system. And what's scary about that, so I'm going to turn my hat sideways and talk about cybersecurity.
Yeah.
Is
every time you flip your lights on, someone else can turn them off.
And we protect our desktops pretty well. We protect our cell phones okay. We're not protecting the Internet of Everything at all.
No.
And so the hackers get that, and they're playing all sorts of funny games. And it's a little frightening. Having said that, and you know me, I remain an optimist. I think a lot of good things, and again, assume the candidate you can't stand wins in November.
Right.
Let your heart be peaceful.
Yeah.
It's going to work out. I know everyone gets excited. And
isn't that the truth? And there's not much we can do.
No. And they're not that important at that level.
Well, that's really...
I mean,
well, you would hope it sometimes that they might be.
They might be, and in some cases they are, but our mayor and our city council and our county commission, our police chief, our sheriff, they have way more impact on our daily life
Yes.
Frankly, the sewer commissioners do too.
Right.
Thank God they do their job well.
Yeah, you're getting right down in the mud and the dirt, aren't you?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well,
right.
it's sort of a. I can't use that joke
No,
on the air,
okay.
can I?
Yeah, no, probably not. Probably not. Don Morgan, what are you going to talk about next week?
Next week, I may talk about definitions. I may talk about marriage.
Oh, okay.
I'm writing those as we
And
speak.
you married well.
I did. Well, I married up, certainly.
Yeah, yeah. Well, look at your daughter. Let's talk about her for.
Well, and can we talk about her generation though?
Yes.
The whole panel of 20 under 40. My daughter was
Right.
nominated for that.
Right.
Second year running, proud dad.
Yeah.
And I am. I'm incredibly proud of all three of my kids. They're
Right.
incredible kids.
But she's probably the most visible in the community right now.
She is. Those other 19 are incredible as well.
Yeah.
And they are one of the many reasons I'm an optimist. They start businesses.
Right.
They go into government. They do nonprofits. They do crazy things like triathlons. Would you do a triathlon?
No.
I mean, either.
No.
I sink. I don't swim.
Yeah. Well, unless it was like ping pong and
Yeah.
a couple of
Pool.
shuffleboard or if those are
Shuffleboard?
yeah. You remember shuffleboard?
I'm not going there.
No. Okay. Well.
But no, she's pretty cool. And but that whole group of folks, and there's probably 100 or 500 or I don't know how many.
Yeah.
Incredible young people. Yes, we've all seen the bad guys, but there's more of the good ones.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so I remain very optimistic.
Yeah. Good. All right, Don. Thank you. Independent Wealth Connections.
IndependentWealthConnections.com or 931-1088.
Thank you. We'll see you next week. And we'll see. Thank you for coming. We'll see you next week on Spokane Talks Live.